Hello. Welcome to a very special episode of the Get Gaming podcast. I'm Alex, and I have a special guest. Ben isn't here. Ben decided to be a family man, and he's just like, you know what? I'm not going to watch the Superman movie right now because I don't know why he turned like Southern twang, but he's busy. People are busy. They don't want to. They don't have time to watch movies unless they're kids movies, because we'll talk about the Superman movie in a bit, but like it's kind of violent. But I have a very special guest here today. Special guest, if you'd like to introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, where they can find you a little bit, and then we'll talk about it a little bit later as well at the end.
I am very, very special guest, Steven. I'm here because I like Superman and I watch a lot of movies too. So, because I don't have things I have to do with myself.
Yeah.
It's that and I've read enough Superman comics to be able to be like, yeah, I actually kind of like that. So it makes sense. I get to chat souped a little bit. I'm on all of your baseline social medias. You can find me at some variation of coffee, spelled Kophy. Yes, that's coffee. And with either a 42 at the beginning or the end, or not at all. Who knows?
Nice. Cool. I've been calling you Kofi this whole time. It's like
everybody does.
It's like the what is it? The Simpsons quote. It's like, Krabappel, I've been calling her Crandall this whole time. And so like it's the same thing.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
it's and I'm just Kofi is just the same name as far as I'm concerned more, because I get called that way more often.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we're going by like Japanese or something, Kofi. But maybe that's what everyone's doing. But yeah, coffee. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you coming here, talking about Supermans, talking about DC, talking about everything. If all goes well and the lovely people like you, maybe we'll have you on more. But if they don't like you,
or it could be a train wreck.
Yeah. This could be a train wreck. But according to Superman in the Quest for Peace, statistically, trains and subway is the safest form of travel. I hope this doesn't stop you from doing this or whatever. And then he says it again in Superman Returns, except about planes. He's like, statistically, the trains or the planes are the safest way to travel.
I had forgotten about that bit.
Yeah.
Return.
Yeah. We'll talk about those here in a bit, as well as we'll kind of go over the official Get Gaming Superman ranking video that we had last time, which was the last major actual podcast episode. This might come out as a podcast episode. This might come out as a YouTube exclusive. It just really depends on how we're doing things, how long this goes, how we feel the vibes are. But yeah. So this episode is going to have spoilers. This episode is going to have spoilers about Superman 2025 James Gunn, featuring Marvelous Miss Maisel or whatever her name is. I forget what that is. Rachel Brosnahan, David Corn Sweat, Nicholas Hoult, a bunch of people. The Superman 2025. So we are going to go over spoilers for that. This isn't going to be a completely in review. So we're not going to go through the plot by plot, frame by frame. We are going to just briefly discuss it. I saw this movie on the Tuesday, so that was like the 7th or the 8th. I saw it because of an Amazon screening type thing. So you didn't get to watch it at home, but if you connect your Amazon to your Fandango, you could be cool and just see an early screening of it in IMAX and 2D IMAX. So that's what I did. Steven, this is more fresh on your mind since you saw this
Friday.
Friday. Yeah. So a couple days ago from when we're recording. So I thought we would go over light, non-spoilery stuff here. Just kind of talk about our initial thoughts, how we feel. Then we can go a little more into spoilers, and in our spoilers section, we are going to spoil other films as well. So if we do talk about Man of Steel and how much it sucks, then we will do that. So yeah, that'd be a fun time.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be good.
But I do. No one knows my
Oh,
opinions yet, technically, but I do want to get in, and since you are the guest, what are your initial thoughts of this latest Superman film, and how were the actors for you in the lightest non-spoilery way possible?
it, I thought it was a really good take on. It's it checked the boxes for what makes Superman good to me, which is it was a very hopeful character.
Mm-hmm.
He was not, there was no brooding, there was really not much edge. It was Superman was a good person doing good things. I think that David Cornsweet did a very good job at portraying him like that. Uh, it's there was I can't say anything really other than that.
Yeah.
I thought that Nicholas Holt was absolutely the best Lex Luthor we've had. I really liked his Lex Luthor a lot. He was manic. He was just the most egotistical person ever. And he was he was envy personified. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
Our I can't say much else. I can't say anything bad. I liked our Jimmy. I really liked our Lois.
Yeah.
Like we had everybody kind of like was a really solid choice for all of their parts.
Mm-hmm.
And the plot, like, the plot came together in a way at the end that I was not expecting, that I thought was like kind of this, it kind of felt fun and Superman.
Yeah, definitely. We do rankings on here by number and all that. I want to say we have like a 1 through 5 scale here. I always forget. Ben's the one who knows the scale more than I do. I personally don't really scales can matter, and they also don't matter depending on how you're using them. That's why I enjoy our ranking videos more with like the actual like tier list type stuff. But in your own words, how out of Superman films that you have seen, is this your favorite, or is this still like, are there still others that do top it for you?
I think that just individually as a Superman, like a live action Superman, I think it is my favorite one.
Okay.
I think the next one down is probably the first like 70s Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is probably my favorite of them. I walked into the theater thinking, like, was that the best Superman movie? And like kind of going through and I'm like, yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
It's so I think I do think it is the very top. Where I do think the worst take on Superman that we've had in live action, at least, is probably Man of Steel. Man of Steel was bad.
Yeah. It
so
was.
With that being the thing, and I even really like Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I just he was just never given an option to be anything other than not a good Superman, and that makes me sad.
And even then, I mean, again, I didn't say we will go into spoilers on other movies here eventually. I felt that he was a better Superman in Batman v Superman than in his own movie, but which is just strange to think, because that's just a amalgamation of, hey, this is a Batman origin, but also it's not, but also it's Wonder Woman's here, but also I don't know. There's just a lot of weird stuff going for that. But the last question I have for you before we get into my side of things, non-spoilery and all that, and this is the thing that I have been torn apart by, trying to figure out if I can recommend this to people, this movie. Do you think this movie, for non-comic book people, do you think that they will understand this movie enough and enjoy it? The reason why I ask is because Ben and I have talked about this, like our parents, like my mom really was like, oh, I really like Christopher Reeve, and we both, when I was at their house back in December, we watched the Christopher Reeve documentary. And so like that was really, really good. If anyone hasn't seen that, it's on Max, HBO Max. You should be able to watch it there. But she has fond memories of like at least the first Christopher Reeve film. And so because they're trying to go for that nostalgia a bit, she feels more compelled into watching this film. And so I kind of, after I watched it, I talked to her about certain things. I was like, there are things in here that like you might not understand necessarily, but also there's also other things in here that the characters don't understand, but it's more of the rage comic meme of us pointing. It's like, oh, it's this thing. And so with that, do you think that this is a good movie for non-comic booky people do you think they will enjoy it as much as we are?
What I can say is that I did go see it with my wife, and she walked out of that theater having really enjoyed it too.
Okay.
Because like on its face, it just has lots of things that are kind of enjoy, without too much difficulty, and without too much buy-in. The plot makes sense; it works. The characters are fun, and there's not, you don't have to really kind of like stretch to understand anything they're doing. Like most of it sets up who the characters are in the dialogue really well. And it has crypto, and if you like cute dog, crypto, easy sell.
Definitely, and this is a different take on crypto as well. I do enjoy this crypto instead of the not generic, but the Labrador type like white dog there. But I like this dog a lot better, like more of a medium-sized dog that is more energetic. But cool. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. So my thing, a lot of my points are similar to yours. My favorite film is still the very first one, the Christopher Reeve one, because it is a 3-act film that knows like it tells the story of Superman very concisely. It tells the story of Krypton, and it tells the story of Smallville, and then finally it tells the story of Superman. The one downside is that Gene Hackman is a Lex Luthor. He's more of a real estate man, and we'll get to that in this movie here in a bit too. But yeah, he's fun. He's a fine Lex Luthor because there are so many different Luthors to pull from in comics and media and everything, that any interpretation, unless you're Jesse Eisenberg, are valid Lex Luthors for the most part. Even Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, he never had a chance to make a good movie either. Like, I'm sure he would have been fine.
Yeah, and I think they were pulling for something like, you can have Lex Jr. here or whatever, because he was a junior, I believe, in that film too. He kind of was becoming the actual Lex near the end of it all. And so if you gave him another movie, I think we probably would have seen an actual Lex Luthor then. But we didn't get that. But yeah, the original Christopher Reeve is still my favorite. Just because of just everything about it. I love the campiness as well. But the differences between Clark and Superman are much greater in that, I feel too, compared to where in this latest film, like, it's very thin. It's just the glasses. But I did really enjoy this film, but I did have to like simmer on it afterwards, just to try to figure out where exactly I felt that this deserved to be. And I recently watched all of the Christopher Reeve plus Supergirl, which is in the Christopher Reeve universe, plus Superman Returns, which is in that universe technically as well. We ranked those all on here. Huh?
I guess it isn't technically,
because it's a direct sequel to Superman 2. Yeah. Because it pretends that 3 and 4 didn't happen. But yeah, so like I recently watched all of those, and Superman 2, it has a lot of its problems. Donner Cut also has problems because it's borrowing from the other director's stuff as well, and so it's just an amalgamation of just like, here's this Frankenstein's monster of a movie where like there's a lot of cool stuff in here, there's a lot of just weird stuff that doesn't make sense in here, and so if Donner had the ability to actually make a Superman 2, I think that probably would have been his best film. But because there's just two different versions of that, there's not really a good way to stitch those together. That's the unfortunate part of it. So yeah, the Superman 1 is still my favorite. I really do like this movie a lot. Obviously we're, saying bad things about Man of Steel, but yeah, I mean, that was the beginning of another DCU and DCEU. Yep. And it did not do well. And I guess the movie itself did fine, but to be the beginning of a universe and then try to set up a Justice League immediately and do all these other things, like, I don't know, there's a lot of problems with it. But yeah, I love this movie. I think this movie is great. I really like the actors for the most part on how they do their things. There are cameos and stuff that I really like, especially at the end.
Yeah,
the end is great. Yeah,
the end was the end was good. No, some of the extended cast as well was wonderful, and I loved it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And then also the extended cast is kind of like in the trailers already, so it's not necessarily spoilers to talk about that, but I am gonna write down here on my notes that roughly around this time we are in spoiler zone, so we're gonna start talking about spoilers about the Superman film 2025 here. And I don't, this podcast isn't political. This podcast is apolitical. We don't really talk about much things here. However, there are certain things that you have to, this movie is political in a sense. Like it very much is. It's current events. But it does bring,
can't take it out of the context that it's being made, and the context that it's being made is tumultuous.
Yeah, like there are a bunch of things in this that are about it. Like even the news, like the actual news around here that's trying to say that it's woke or whatever, immigration and all of that. Like Superman has always been an immigrant story. It was created by two Jewish people who it's an immigration story.
Yeah, it has been a Moses allegory for over 100 years.
Yeah,
like that's what Superman is, and that's like, it's not even like, again, I don't like Zack Snyder's writing, but Zack Snyder making making Superman a Jesus XP never felt quite right, because I mean, you're almost there, right?
Yeah,
but you're not quite.
Yeah, you read the Bible, but you just read the wrong part of it.
Exactly.
But yeah, like there's certain things like that, and then the beginning of this film, like, really does pose the question, and kind of like the whole point of the film. Superman, he needs checks and balances, because when he lives in the United States, so if he goes somewhere and tries to stop a war, regardless of good or bad intentions, he is representing the United States, and that is not a good thing. However, it shouldn't be political to say, like he says in that interview with Lois at the beginning, like, I was representing me. He is all about the goodness of, he's the goodness of humanity, even though he's not human. But he's trying to protect everyone the best way that he can, and so he's kind of blinded by the politicalness of it all, and he just wants to help people, which is not a bad thing to want. Like, that is it is not necessarily perfect, but it is a good thing. But we will go kind of like more in this here in a second, but like the whole movie's kind of like that too, because even with the Justice Gang, near the end of there, like, they kind of decide as well, like, you know what, we have the power to help these people, we feel like we should help these people, let's go over there. Guy Gardner goes over there. He's like,
God,
sorry, kid, Superman isn't here, but you just got an upgrade. Just
I can't tell you how much I love the casting of for Guy Gardner having no, he's so good. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was perfect. With the
Yeah.
stupid haircut
Mm-hmm.
and the lame jacket, perfect. 10 out
Mhm.
of 10. No notes.
Yeah, he is definitely perfect. And Mr. Terrific is probably the star of this movie, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Like Mr. Terrific did. He was such a good foil, like to
Mhm.
Superman during that, because he is this like cold, logical person. But but the thing that makes the thing that kind of makes a lot of DC characters work function is that they have these strong moral codes that are very ironclad. Like
Yeah.
we didn't. Superman, Superman tries to preserve life how he can.
Mhm.
That came across incredibly well during the kaiju fight scene.
Yeah.
Superman's like, hey, why don't we I don't know, not kill it
Yeah.
and move it or
Put
something.
it in a zoo and study
Yeah.
it. He could have his own his Fortress of Solitude zoo like he does in the animated series.
Oh yeah. Exactly. And
Yeah.
and Superman and the focus of the fight then for Superman not being dealing with the kaiju itself, he's just going around saving lives how as best he can, which is pretty dang good if you're Superman.
Do you know who that kaiju is? Do you know what
I
that
don't.
was? Okay. So James Gunn has said in multiple things that he was kind of inspired. Hello, cat. This has been inspired by All-Star Superman, but it's very, very loosely. So like the main things with All-Star Superman seem to be the robots and the kaiju. The kaiju is Parasite.
It is, isn't
It's
it?
just Parasite, but he's just a kaiju instead of like a person.
Yeah. I hadn't thought that makes because so part of the reason why I like this movie a lot, and why I think it ranks so highly for me, and is because I really like All Star Superman.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the full graphics that I own. I like the thesis of it. I like the way it portrays the character,
Mm-hmm.
and this movie felt so inspired by it.
Yeah.
Like even to some of the visual design, where
Yeah.
and granted, it kind of also leans into the kind of Bruce Timm like art, the kind of Art Deco look.
Yeah.
Cat's trying to eat face.
Yeah.
All Star Superman did a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So having that be the kind of be the look, it did it for me. It was really it works for me very well, and it makes a very hopeful feeling movie that feels again very Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But the thing that I kind of talked to someone else about this too, it kind of is disappointing, but because they didn't name the kaiju Parasite, it just kind of acted like Parasite, like it kept growing as you were attacking it more and more. That means that we could still have an actual Parasite eventually, which is a pretty cool Superman villain. Just because the more you hit him, the more he hits back. Like that's just the main thing of Parasite. So I think it'd be really cool. And then there is that scene with Superman like drinking the cocoa and stuff in his apartment, talking to Lois, and or I guess was that his apartment or is that Lois's apartment? I forget.
I think that was his.
Oh yeah,
Lois's was the kind of the kind of again the kind of punky one that was in the
that's right. Yeah.
She had the baseball bat next to the door.
Yeah. I remember now. But he says that like when the Justice Gang is fighting stuff out there, he's like, oh, she's like, oh, do you need to go out there? He's like, no, it's just a interdimensional imp or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, Mr. Mitzik Bitlick is in this universe? Like he's an interdimensional imp. So like, are we getting not Gilbert Gottfried him? Like that'd be really cool. Like they're already, because this is a year 3 Superman, like there's already things that kind of just exist in this universe, and for the better, because we don't need another origin story of Superman. We can just have him exist. We can have the the beginning workings of a Justice League or a Justice Society, a Justice whatever, and we have the Justice Gang here.
that worked well. Like, I like that, and it does share the kind of setting with with the Gun Suicide Squad, which also technically is the bad Suicide Squad too, but like, eh.
Yeah.
But the important bit there is that you can get you get these like really good like using Starro as the Suicide Squad is the villain was great.
Mhm.
And you get the kind of like, and James Gunn very obviously likes the kind of off the wall monsters. Like, I feel like that's the thing he's kind of known for doing
Yeah.
generally.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, granted though, it sounds like the Suicide Squad that he did even is very loosely even tied to
Yeah,
this universe. So we could get Starro again
we
for
could
all,
get Starro again.
like,
Yeah,
because I think he described it as just a vivid dream or something like that, to where it's just like, yeah, this stuff could have happened. Like, some of these characters already exist, like Weasel, like Peacemaker,
God,
like all
yeah,
these people exist, but like they or Rick Flag junior versus senior, like stuff happened there. So um yeah, we could get some of that stuff from there, and because some of these characters are borrowing and coming from that particular movie, doesn't mean we have to take all of those characters from that. So we won't have to
yeah.
see a Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn. We won't have to see I don't know. And we can see a Starro again, I guess is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say again here. Or a different Killer Croc, like, or not
Yeah.
Killer Croc, King Shark.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to see a Killer Croc. I think that'd be cool too.
Yeah. I mean, I, I would like to see King Shark again, if only because one of my favorite off jokes from a comic is John Constantine like outright saying that, oh yeah, the King Shark's my ex. Like, I don't really want to see him right now.
Yeah, that was in one of the Justice League Dark movies.
Oh, I guess it was too, wasn't it?
But it
Yeah.
was a different King Shark. Like, it was a female shark. Like, it was clearly a different type of like body
Yeah.
of the shark. But like, yeah.
Yeah.
I forget which one that was. It might have been Justice League Dark something. I don't know. It was one of those, like, right before that universe changed
Yeah.
in those movies, and those movies are a mixed bag. But but anyway, yeah, I think the main things this movie does right are the Superman. They do Lois right for the most part. The problem is that Lois doesn't get her own time to shine, in my opinion. She's very much sidelined to being a partner with like Mr. Terrific, or a partner with the planet. Granted, I love seeing Steve. I thought that was awesome that we got to see Steve in the planet. We got to see Kat. We got to see Jimmy with his Jimmy Riz, apparently, with with Tessmacher, with Eve Tessmacher. Oh, and that was my favorite part too, because I love the original movies like so much that like one of the guys in Lex's like building was named Otis, like his henchman Otis, because they call him Otis in there. And then Eve Tessmacher is Miss Tessmacher from that movie too. And so yeah,
I have a sneaking suspicion that James Gunn also likes the original.
I mean, just from the credits at the beginning, yeah, that too. But
yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I love the Jimmy Riz. I don't understand like how he just doesn't like see properly. He's just like, she's gross. And it's like, what? She's supposed to be conventionally attractive and all that. Or like Lois says like tell your hot girlfriend thanks, and he's like, hot? Like, he doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
Or like the other women who are like in the Daily Planet at the very beginning, kind of like whispering and smiling and talking about him. It's like, where does Jimmy Riz come from? It's crazy.
It's a good joke. It landed every time. I thought it was very funny.
It did land every time. And so much so that I've heard that they're considering doing a Jimmy show.
Oh.
Like a spin-off Jimmy show and a spin-off Mr. Terrific show potentially. We could have, because like Jimmy has had his own comics in the past, like the Adventures of Jimmy Olsen, and it's just like weird things just happen to him.
It's like Archie comics, but with Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, essentially.
I remember.
So like we could have that, we could have that in live action, or honestly, we could have that in animation too.
Yeah.
Especially because Creature Commandos and all of that. That was technically the first thing in this universe, and so they are technically tied together. And there is a Batman in that briefly shown. And the Rick Flag Sr. in that show is the Rick Flag Sr. in this movie. So, yeah. I do want to talk about the main big spoiler, or a couple of spoilers, I guess, here.
Yeah.
Kind of weird that Metamorpho 1 wasn't called Metamorpho at all.
Yeah, they never used his name.
They said metamorphic, and then they called him the elemental or something, which is like his evil name for a little bit. But like they never called him Metamorpho. Also kind of weird that his son is also affected. And we don't I don't understand that, but his wife is there and all that, like near the end. And they were in Stag Industries, so did the same thing happen with Stag? Like, who knows?
No, that's a very good question, because like it doesn't. He was necessary, right, for like part of that plot to function.
Yeah.
But also, it doesn't. It didn't feel like there was room for him to exist the way that he did. At least. In terms of in terms of like what he was, what he was in the comics, was in like the animated series, which I feel like it is a thing that has to get expanded on some way, or at least, or I guess they just don't touch it. Like Metamorpho's around, we're gonna get 500 hero Justice League, and then he'll just be hanging out there, and nobody will touch it.
Yeah, he just kind of exists, and like he has plot built around him, but the plot doesn't make sense, or I guess it doesn't make sense, but like it's just not fleshed out enough. Same thing with Hawk Girl. Hawk Girl's kind of just there.
Hawk Girl does nothing, and like
she could be anyone. She is literally there to be the female superhero.
Yeah, she was
unfortunately
she was the third member of the Justice Gang, and that was her job.
Yeah.
The only like consequential thing is she kills a dictator.
I'm not like, Superman.
Cool.
And drops
which is a cool thing to do, but like it's not. It's not. Yeah, it was not. That could have been the question. That could have been any random character, and it would have made as much sense. I think it just kind of had to be Hawk Girl to like. Maybe they'll give her the storyline with her and Hawkman.
Because it's that one. It's not Shiera. So it's not Thanagarian. It's nothing like that. She is not an alien. So, which is like, I kind of wish it was Shiera, because I love the Thanagarian invasion in Justice League. I love that so much. Like that's one of my favorite things, where like everyone has to work together in that show. And like everyone learns their secret identities, and Wally's like, I'm not sure if I want to tell you guys my secret identity. And then Batman's just like, Clark Kent, Wally West, Bruce Wayne.
It's I like that, because it's the you get the like reverse joke later in Unlimited, where Lex is like, I can finally figure out the identity of the Flash. I don't know who that is.
I love that scene so much.
It's so good.
Or the really quick with that episode where Flash is Lex. It's like, aren't you gonna wash your hands? No, because I'm evil. I love that show so much.
I do.
But there's so many good things about that. And so before we kind of go away from this movie and talk about kind of the future of the DCU, what they can do, what they can't do, and all of that, let's talk about a couple things. One thing is something that no one really notices or cares. I don't like how they call Superman at the very beginning in the text the strongest metahuman. He's not a metahuman.
He's not human. He's an alien. which is fine.
Yeah,
Aliens are cool, but
unless
yeah.
unless they're changing, like 'cause I had this conversation with someone else. Unless they're changing the definition of what a metahuman means, it's just a humanoid person with powers. Um,
I think that's
and
what it has to be, right? Because like, we already have established that there's a full Green Lantern Corps, so like,
yeah,
we're gonna see aliens at some point.
we
Uh,
have, yeah, because he talks about the core, but then also
yeah.
lanterns is one of the next shows. We have John and Hal
Oh,
confirmed.
I I didn't even realize that. I love that.
Yeah,
But where's Kyle?
live action on HBO Max
Oh,
next year.
but what about Kyle Rayner? He's my favorite one.
I don't think we're getting Kyle
I
anytime soon.
Yeah, but he's so good. He's the artist.
Yeah,
He's kind of a nerd. I love him.
yeah. We are getting a Jessica Cruz cartoon, My Adventures with My Adventures with Green Lantern, in the same
Uh,
style of
Okay.
My Adventures with Superman. So we'll see how that happens. But yeah, I did not enjoy that at the very beginning, because that made me like raise an eyebrow at the very
Yeah.
beginning when they're like blah 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 metahumans existed for blah 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 billions of years. I was like, okay, interesting, and because it's all for us, it's not for
Yeah. That was
the actual universe. And then they say Superman, the strongest metahuman. I was like, hold on a second here.
yeah.
If you're gonna mess up this part, can I trust you for the rest of the film? And thankfully, yes, I can.
Yeah. It turns out yes.
Yeah,
But
but
no, that's a valid point. Yeah.
yeah, it was just really weird. The other thing I did want to bring up, which is more substantial, is changing his origin story. Changing Zor-El and
Yeah.
having many women ruling them with an iron fist.
I think that was the only joke that didn't land for me. The harem ones.
Yeah.
Because yes, like even the first time, like where it was kind of cut, like it was in the newscast, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Does he have a secret harem? Who knows?" And
Yeah.
like, okay, that's like a funny implication for for some talking head pundit to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being like the kind of repeated joke, it
Mhm.
didn't quite do it. And making him a very Vermiliolite. I can't remember the way how
Viltrumite?
to say it. Viltrumite from
Yeah.
making him a Viltrumite like it, or a sand.
Yeah.
Weird. Like, I know that is a thing that has been established in Superman prior.
Yeah, in an Elseworlds, never in like a Prime thing.
So like I guess, but yeah, like that. I hope like if they didn't have that line where Mr. Terrific was like, "No, this thing, 100% real."
Yeah.
I would have bet on that being the whole like that whole recording plot device being altered. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Which I just thought was very strange to change it, but in my eyes, I see it as, hey, we don't need a Superman origin story. We don't need Superman to be like, yes, he does care about his Kryptonian heritage to a degree, but I feel like most of the care and the discovery has already happened in the past that we just didn't get to see. And so by tying the knot there and wrapping up it turns out everything that he knew was a lie, like he can still have his Fortress of Solitude, but he doesn't have to turn to his parents anymore for guidance, because there will be a league here soon. He can go to Mr. Terrific for guidance. Like they can both try to figure out.
Is it yours?
Huh?
Oh,
we all froze.
The internet just cut out briefly. Okay.
Yeah, right. my whole thing just froze, but I don't even know if it recorded. But he can go to Mr. Terrific for guidance. He can it kind of just like makes it so we can't have separate Superman films anymore. This is the only Superman film, probably.
So I do think that there is like, I think there is a possibility of doing Superman separately that functions. Right, because but yeah, you're right. Like you can't have that like self-discovery thing that is kind of necessary for how Superman has to function, because he's not, because he has this golden, he has this golden beacon so far out that there's a very limited number of people that can help him. But at the same time, like I don't know. Like, I guess I'm struggling to think of storyline now that we could do. Uh, we could just do the other half of All Star Superman next. I'd be down with that. We already got my favorite. We almost got my favorite line from All Star Superman. Brain beats brawn.
Yeah.
Which is such a good like thesis to it, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's such a good thesis to a lot of Superman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, because that's why I think he works. Like he is physically stronger than everybody else. That is true. He is, you know, he is a Herculean hero kind of, but
Yeah.
he is ultimately an Athenian style hero. He's smarter than everyone. Like and not even smarter than everybody, but he has that kind of like, he is willing. He broadly is going to outsmart his opponents.
Mm-hmm.
In kind of like small, non-obvious ways, and I think that works super well for the kind of heroics it does, and is, I guess, has to be the kind of follow-up storyline. You couldn't do that right away. You could not have the next movie be, all right, I'm Superman, but like no powers, but I'm still gonna be Superman because Superman is just fundamentally a good person. That's what makes him what he is.
Did you hear about the rumors? How people thought that was going to be Henry Cavill underneath that mask for Ultraman?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, people thought it was going to be because he's called Ultraman, and Ultraman is generally a bad Superman from an alternate universe, and so they're like, well, it'd be confusing. Or maybe it's just all a red herring and it's just like a robot or something like that. Or the other thing was like, oh, it's Supergirl underneath there and she's being controlled. Or she landed somewhere else and whatever. But having it actually just be a Superman clone, and actually him was kind of interesting. They didn't.
So
yeah.
Sorry, this is not this is the thing that is going to, technically goes into the next one. He's gonna come back as Bizarro, right? Like,
yes,
there's no way he doesn't come back as Bizarro.
He got thrown into a pocket universe or whatever, which is essentially the Phantom Zone, but they don't call it the Phantom Zone. Those boom tubes are not technically boom tubes. He is. I feel it's kind of weird that we didn't call him that, or that he never talked. It'd be interesting to see him. Superman the animated series does this very well, where you have a Superman clone and he does everything right, and he is just kind of there being a Superman. After a while, he starts deteriorating and just starts slurring his words, and then becomes a Bizarro. And so Superman kind of has to fight him and put him in his place, give him his own planet, essentially. And like that kind of what happened here, but it's not really earned that this is Bizarro, and they never called him Bizarro. Like, he never called himself that. They never called him anything, and just because he never talked, he was literally just a mindless puppet. And so it'd be really cool if he was like, he talked on par against Superman, and then like at the end there'd be some like stupid line where Superman's like, I can win this fight because I'm Superman, and he punches him, and then Bizarro would be like, me Superman, and falls into the thing. Like, do something like that, and like have it a little bit more earned instead of subtle, because like, he's coming back, he has to come back. When he's coming back, who knows? But I just feel like, I don't know, we have so many clones and stuff all the time. Like, even with Batman v Superman, that was a clone of Zod. The Doomsday was a weird clone of Zod. Like, stop doing clones and stop doing failed clones unless you're actively doing Bizarro. It's like even with Superman 3, where Superman becomes like emo Peter Parker, essentially, and emo Superman. And then the two fight, like the Clark and the Superman fight, but it's not Bizarro and it's not real. Is it all in his head? Who knows? This one is not, but call him Bizarro.
Yeah, it's I'm okay with him being Ultraman because, like, yeah, like the the kind of like idea of Ultraman, right, is that he is just a different he's a Superman from somewhere,
Yeah.
and it would, admittedly, I think it would probably be a good idea for you to not try to do multiverse, the multiverse thing.
Yeah.
If only because that's kind of what Marvel's doing right now and just kind of flailing about it. Um,
Yeah, like everything needs to kind of stop
yeah,
with that, and the problem is Marvel's too deep at this point without doing a full reset, and
exactly.
there's no way that they can do that at this point
Yeah,
either. They're kind of
yeah, no,
stuck,
they are.
which kind of brings into question here, um do you think, before we get into the future of this stuff, how you think Fantastic Four is going to do?
So how it's gonna do? I don't think it's gonna do very well.
Hmm.
I think that we've had three like middling to bad Fantastic Four movies. Uh, like, yeah, I don't think your average person going to go see a movie is that jazzed about the 1950s superhero team.
Pedro can't
Uh,
save them all.
yeah,
He was
as
in
much as I
Wonder
like,
Woman too.
yeah, it's true. I think I'm gonna go see it and probably like it. Um, because I do like Fantastic Four. I do like the kind of like that kind of like 50s feel, um, superheroing,
Hmm.
that Silver Age kind of feel, I guess is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't think it's gonna do well. But I hope it does well enough to at least like continue because Victor Von Doom is also the best. It is also probably the best villain in in Marvel. I love
Yeah.
Doom so much.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And again, this isn't really about Marvel or
Yeah,
compared to, but I was just curious because like these two movies are coming out together so
yep,
closely together. Um, I agree. I don't think Fantastic Four is going to do as well. I don't think it's going to bomb, but I think it is going to get maybe close to that. Just because people are tired of Marvel movies, people are tired of multiverse.
yep,
Um, and even though we are doing the new Avengers Doomsday and all this stuff next year, just because you have Robert Downey Jr. doesn't mean that people are going to come and see your film. Um, and I feel like they kind of messed up a lot of it. Or I mean, I guess the actor for Kang kind of messed up things.
yeah,
Because if this is all retro, like a retro future inspired, like, past, with all like the equipment looking very similar to the TVA and all that, because Reed
yep,
Richards and Kang are all related and blah 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 blah. Like make more sense to make this a Kang movie, but because you have Silver Surfer, because you have Galactus, and you're going to have Doom eventually here, splitting the two and potentially having to do multiverse and then go to the, was it 616? Is that what
six
the
one.
cinematic?
Oh no, cinematic is 616 is the main comic continuity.
Okay, I thought they called it
Uh,
616 for some reason in the
they
movies
oh
too.
they
Oh
did.
right, yeah, and then because
They
yeah,
did, and it's wrong
yeah,
because 616 is, yeah, main comic
right,
continuity.
yeah. But regardless, like, yeah, having things, I don't think there's anything that can save this, to be honest. Like, yeah, you can have all these famous people and people might go see it, so your box office numbers might go up when these actually movies come out, but as far as, are they good?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows? And yeah, I'm not even really excited for this Fantastic Four movie. I think it looks cool. I think everything about it, the trailers look really good. I don't think I'm gonna see this in theaters. I haven't seen a movie that's Marvel since the last Spider-Man, I guess.
Uh,
In theaters, I should say. Um,
I did go see Deadpool and Wolverine in
oh,
theaters because
wait, yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah, I technically saw that too. Because I just because of how far removed and now not it is. That's why I think about it differently. But that
I
very
get that,
much
yeah.
is a Fox film.
Yep.
But yeah, I just don't think that Fantastic Four is going to do well. But yeah, I think the Superman film is going to do well. And with that,
Yeah.
and with how Fantastic Four and how Marvel has done their things throughout the years, like having phases and all of that, it's finally DC's turn to attempt to do that. And so yeah, it's time to talk about the future here of the DC universe. The DCU is what the official thing is called now. So what do you think is next? Like, we know that the Authority is happening. We know that that's confirmed. We know that there's a Supergirl movie coming out. We know that there's a Clayface movie coming out that's like a horror film. We know that there is the Peacemaker season 2's coming out very soon. That has Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner in it for a brief scene. I don't know how much. And then we have the Lanterns. So like there are things in the works in this universe, but as far as like movies and speculation, what do you think is next? What do you think we can see? Because I have ideas, but you're the guest here. I want you to talk first.
So I do have a question to start.
Okay.
The
question's back.
I'd love a question. It's the Matt Reeves Batman.
Mhm.
That is that confirmed in the same universe? Well, same setting.
It's an Elseworlds.
It's not. Okay, that's what I thought. Because I do feel like we fundamentally need a Batman that can then be tied into a proper Justice League.
There is a Bat Family movie coming out.
Okay, there we go.
It's Batman, Damian Wayne.
I love that.
So.
I love Damian Wayne. Oh my god, I love that a lot. And that also means that I like the Robins more than I like Batman. I like Damian. I like Dick Grayson as Nightwing. I like Red Hood, Jason Todd. I really like I really like Red Robin because I like the idea. I like the detective-y bits. Yeah.
I think you're the only person who likes Red Robin, but yeah.
That's because other people have bad taste.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, as far as it sounds like, it seems like a lot of times, like, people really like Nightwing. They really like Jason. They really like Damian now, and then Tim just kind of gets thrown off somewhere else.
I like Tim Drake because I like that Tim Drake is the proper successor to Bruce Wayne, as because he is the detective of the Robin. He's the smart one.
Yeah.
And I that's why I like him a lot. But no, it's, I guess, because my hope is that we do end up setting up, kind of properly setting up these other characters for a full Justice League, primarily, with movies being the main avenue that you can get to know.
Yeah.
Like, I know Guy Gardner pretty well right now because, he's a jerk, and he's arrogant and he's great, and he has a stupid haircut.
Yeah.
You know him pretty good now. And that's kind of true, and that's very true for Mr. Terrific. And for Hawkgirl, we probably actually need a little bit more, like, somebody to play off of for her, because she just didn't get a lot, because she really just, like, she was really just kind of, like, acting like a bored teenager through most of it.
Yeah.
Which, like, is fine. Like, that's not necessarily even a bad character, but, like, we don't, that needs to be expounded upon to be kind of effective. So,
yeah,
I get, we need to round out a proper Justice League, which would then give us, we'll have our Green Lantern, we have Hawkgirl. So, like, I guess we need Batman. So a Bat Family movie is probably a way to do that. Hopefully. Who is necessary at that point? I guess we need a Flash, but I don't think, if I was an exec for Warner Brothers, I would not want to touch Flash for a long time, which is sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, That's the unfortunate part about it, because he is
Yeah,
a necessity.
he is. He
Um,
truly is.
Martian Manhunter as well.
Oh, see, that's the answer I was trying to find.
Hmm.
Because yeah, Martian Manhunter would is. I mean, you even have the like line in the movie where it's like, hey, he's he's
Green
some Martian
Martian.
who came down. Yeah, and he's like, hey, it's like I'm Kryptonian. It's different. It's like, yeah, same diff.
Yeah, he says
Like
same
being
diff, and then
naturally
he
racist.
rides
Yeah.
off in his little vehicle with a potentially white Martian carrying them around.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah,
yeah. No, I thought that was good.
yeah,
So it's we probably need like a Martian Manhunter, like some way to properly introduce Martian Manhunter, I guess. Um,
yeah,
I don't know what the best way to do that is. I doubt it would be a standalone movie because I feel like that is kind of a hard ask um, in terms of like the the kind of storytelling that the character would have to, yeah, you're either doing hits Earth. All right, I'm this weird green guy. What do I do? I'm gonna go copy what somebody looks like and learn how to be Earth,
yeah,
or be a human. And like that's not necessarily a bad movie, but I don't think it's a movie James Gunn would want to make. I think it's
yeah,
really the more important bit.
yeah.
So it would have, yeah,
It would have to be some sort of Justice League film, and so like you
yeah,
could do an invasion film, like White
yeah,
Martians and Green Martian, Martian Manhunters here. Like, yo, I'm gonna help you guys.
yeah,
Um, you could do something like that. He could just kind of exist already. Like there can be
yeah,
time skips in these. Like it doesn't have
yeah,
to have that. One thing I did want to bring up, because this is a topic that I thought about a lot just from this movie that we just saw here in particular. There is a Hall of Justice. The Hall of Justice exists in United States.
yeah,
Still poses the issue of like the United States has all these super people, and they're helping everyone.
yeah,
At what point are we going to see, like, you know what, you're right, we shouldn't be political, we shouldn't or political, we shouldn't be, we should sever our ties with the United States, we should not
yeah,
have a Hall of Justice here, we should have a watchtower, we should be out in the open in space, so we can say we are helping all of Earth. We're not we're not American, we're
yeah.
not that. So like then they can go to all these places and be welcomed by all.
That is actually a very fair point, and like, because yeah, it does. What I will say is, it does feel like it is the sort of thing that James Gunn would actually want to play around with, because he
Hmm.
does like, yeah, I mean, he is pretty good at like introducing like kind of meaningful commentary
Yeah.
in filmmaking. Having that be a major plot point, I could absolutely be there,
Hmm.
where the connection to the United States is fundamentally hamstringing the Justice League on their ability to um to save people, to good people.
Yeah.
Um, I also I forgot about Wonder Woman, which I didn't earlier, but I feel like yeah,
Yeah.
I think we could get by without a Wonder Woman. And the reason why is because I think we could use Black Canary instead.
Give me
Because
a real Oliver Queen. Don't give me a Batman clone.
yeah, yeah, also true. I would like a nice proper Oliver Queen. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's because yeah, like I do like a lot of those characters too. I like I mean I even did like Arrow. We
Not me.
got the best.
Not me.
I, yeah, we got the best Slade that we're likely ever gonna get, and
Yeah.
yeah, in live action. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's I did also stop watching. It also was tied to the to my one of my favorite characters in DC, which is John Constantine, getting
Mm.
a very good actor playing John Constantine.
So much so that he was John Constantine for all those animated films.
Exactly. If I could have Matt Ryan playing John Constantine in James Gunn's DC, then I would be pretty pleased. I'm not going to. That would be a big ask, but I do want that.
His brother's already in these films, right? He was in it.
Um,
James Gunn's brother.
that's a good question.
Because I feel like he tried to make his brother John Constantine.
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. Um, yeah.
Because I forget if he was in one of those newscasts, like near the end, like where there are people around, and he
Yeah.
was like, one thing the conservatives and the
Yeah.
the
Oh,
libs can agree with is that everyone hates Lex Luthor or whatever. Like I
yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
I don't know if he was that guy or if he was around those guys in the background.
I don't remember. That's a good question.
Yeah, I forget if he's in this
Because
film or not, but if he isn't, then John
yeah,
Constantine, do it.
yeah, I could live with that.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, but like, I guess we do have a pretty good wealth of characters. Like, I even think of who technically could replace the role that the Flash plays in the Justice League, and that would be utilizing Plastic Man.
I
Wouldn't it be good?
love Plastic Man.
Plastic Man is great.
He's one of my favorite characters because
It's
he's just a very profane Reed Richards, and it's great.
yeah, yeah, it's
Just give him a
but
show.
yeah,
That's what we need.
yeah,
Honestly,
I
he could probably do well in just the animated show,
yeah,
but yeah.
that would make the most sense. But I do think because like Plastic Man being kind of kind of weird, kind of out there, but kind of like fundamentally a like a warm, likable person in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's kind of that's the kind of like role that Flash, at least in the Bruce Timm, I should
Yeah.
say. That's the thing that he did. He was the glue. Like he wasn't the moral center, but he was the kind of like emotional core in a lot of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you have to have somebody who kind of be that kind of warm, pleasant person. Um, or just do Wally West.
I don't think you can. Like, I just don't think you can unless I don't know, unless he's already Barry always has to exist, at least at the beginning, in some capacity. I mean, it's been 3 years since the Superman has arrived. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that Wally and like I don't know, they could both exist.
Yeah,
Barry and Wally could exist, but there's no crisis. So like
yeah.
I don't know, Barry can't just be dead, you know.
What didn't the Tim ones though just skip to Wally because it wasn't Barry and
Yes,
Justice
but
League.
in there's a lot of things in like the Flash Museum and stuff that show
Oh yeah.
otherwise. And then if
Oh
you
yeah.
read these, like
There was the
they're
Justice
not
Society bit that had him that
yeah, but then
I
there's
tweeted about
also
that.
these they're not canon, but they kind of are, kind of not. Like
Yeah.
the early readers, like like the books or whatever, like they talk about
Oh
how Barry existed before Wally, and so like Barry kind of helped him. But it's to be understood that
yeah.
potentially some sort of crisis did happen, or some sort of event where Wally
Okay.
or where Barry did disappear. But yeah, for what they're doing here, especially because like with the lanterns, there are three lanterns fully existing at the same time. Um, I could see them having maybe a Barry and a Wally at the same time here. We have had a lot of Barry recently with Grant Gustin and all of that because that show just ended like
Yeah.
not too long ago. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't think my initial concern has kind of gone away where it's like, oh, we're going to confuse people, but we just had a Superman film that's doing really really well and people don't seem to confuse him with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
So as long as we get a new person who isn't um any of the actors who have ever been the Flash before, then I think we should be fine to have a Flash. I don't think we need a Flash movie yet, but I think a Flash movie could do well, or a Flash movie, Flash plural, and have like something like I don't know, Wally and Barry have to stop Grodd or something like that. You know, like we could have something like that, and kind of like how the Superman film was a pseudo like not Justice League, but you know, it was a Brave and the Bold where like people could come in
Yeah.
and out. You could do even these random like standalone movies, like this is a Flash film, like oh hey Superman showed up, cool,
Yeah.
or here yeah Kyle showed up for you, you know.
Well, that's such a like Silver Age feel
Yeah,
thing too. We're just like you're reading your comic and like, oh, this one, look, it's Martian Manhunter showing up in that one. That's cool. Uh, that that actually feels like a really sustainable way how to do like, do that kind of storytelling for long term.
And you don't
Where
really
you
have
don't
to
have
do like a Justice League film. Like you don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to do that. You still can. Which kind of brings me into my thing here. Like, what do you think the next big threat that they should tackle? Because I have an idea in my head. I don't know, and they kind of alluded to it in the movie. But I don't know. I want to know what you think, because I have ideas
Yeah.
of how there's certain things I want them to avoid right now, and there's one in my mind where I'm like, you could do this. So what do you think?
It's let me think. I I actually a part of me really does just like Lex as the like as the like initial planetary threat.
Mm-hmm.
And having Lex just willing to scale things up does feel kind of good. Um, that said, um, if if they were going to do like an initial like Justice League, probably Brainiac, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is the level of threat that makes sense. So if they, if that's our introduction.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, if we're doing, if we are just kind of doing the, a little bit more piecemeal, trying to pull people together, I want it to be Lex again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think he works well.
Yes.
The only way I ever want to see Doomsday on the screen again is if Doomsday has his very metal original backstory of being repeatedly tortured and killed to death and then brought back with the
Mm-hmm.
memories of that happening until he becomes Doomsday.
Yeah.
I love that. I thought that was cool. Uh, I I don't even think Death of Superman is all that great of a comic,
No,
but
it's not.
I do like. I mean, I also played Doomsday in the original Injustice, so like
Okay.
there's that little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I would, I would be down to, I only want to see Doomsday as that,
Mm-hmm.
and I do want to see him to be like an individual Superman threat. Like I don't want it to be a Justice League level threat because, the whole like Doomsday is so fun. It was created to be this kind of like very, very intentional kind of like opposite counterpart of Superman of like, he, you know, this poor thing who has been,
Yeah.
who was just made into a monster.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess to those points, I I'd like to see Brainiac as our Justice League level villain. I want Darkseid to be earned because Darkseid
Yep.
is important, and I
Any
don't want it
apocalypse
too
thing
soon.
needs to be earned. Even Intergang. I don't even think we should see Intergang yet.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no.
Granny, no Granny,
Uh,
no what's his name? I forget his name. The other guy.
uh,
The guy who's in Superman the
I,
animated series. I always forget his name. The guy who switched at birth.
uh, 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 give me a second. You're right.
I don't remember his name. But anyway. Like yeah, I agree. Darkseid needs to be earned. All of Apocalypse needs to be earned. Because we just did it very horribly. So it's a sour taste. Like I don't want to see. There's a difference between using good characters that need to be used early and trying them again, like with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, from these other properties and Snyderverse stuff. And then there is stuff like overall arcing like villains and stuff like Darkseid, like all of Apocalypse. Like we don't need to see this yet. We could see this as like a quote unquote end game type thing, if they are ever going to if they are ever going to end this eventually, or do a crisis on Infinite Earths, do that at the end. I don't think we ever need to see a Flashpoint again either, but like I agree. Like that was one of the things on my mind where it's like, stay away from Darkseid, stay away from all this. You don't need to allude to any of this. My thought, I had a couple thoughts, was the Brainiac one. I think that would be great. Brainiac could appear, and that could give Lex a good reason to exist as well, because Lex and Brainiac are a really good duo together, especially in the animated series as well as in Justice League Unlimited, when they're like together, or
Yeah.
he's talking to Ghost Brainiac. It's like, is he there? Is he not there? Who knows? But like, yeah, there's that. But then my other thought would have been, because of what they say in the very, very beginning in that text about how long metahumans have existed, we could do Vandal Savage.
Oh, that would be a good one. Vandal Savage would be good. And actually,
he's small enough but big enough to
yeah.
where he could be a league threat.
Yeah, no, that actually is a pretty good choice. I also did realize that there is an answer to what I would actually like to see the next Superman movie be, which would be Superman versus the Elite, which we have animated, but like, because again, it's another story that just tells who Superman is well.
Yeah.
And I think that's good for for telling stories for Superman. Yeah. That said, Vandal Savage would be a really good choice. I do like that. It's I like that. So much of the stuff that I could think of right now too is Batman stuff, which is unfortunate. I never want to see Injustice done because we already got that and it was bad. I like the games.
Yeah.
Some of the comic stuff is cool. But like, boy, no.
Yeah, it's just gotten old. I mean, and again, even with Batman, because we can go into Batman. I mean, there's nothing here that we really know, but
fair.
Stay away from Joker. Stay away from all these grounded people. And give me something that we haven't seen in a while. Give me fantastical. Give me we are getting a Clayface movie.
Yep.
So I don't know if Batman's going to be in that or not. We don't really know what that all is about, but we can have a real Poison Ivy. We could
Poison Ivy, who is nobody can fundamentally say is wrong anymore because I love that. I love the art, the kind of like writing arc that Poison Ivy has had to go through. It's like, hey, we should protect the environment. She's a villain. Well, actually,
exactly. We should protect the environment by any means necessary. I guess it's kind of like the new thing now, where it's like, I'll kill all these people to do this, and you're like, oh, you probably shouldn't. But
just didn't do that.
Yeah. And with that as well, with the no Joker would be like a no Harley Quinn. I don't think she needs to exist anytime soon. We could have a Harley Quinzel. It'd be interesting to see like Batman taking people to Arkham, and like she could be there as like one of the psychiatrists, one of the people there. But if Damian already exists, that'd be kind of weird because timelines are weird. But at the same time, it's a new universe, so who cares?
Yeah, it's like what that means is that if we're doing like a major one, like we've technically done Ra's al Ghul, but like we probably need to do Ra's al Ghul to get Damian make sense context.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Raish would have to exist for that to exist. Yeah. And with that, because we don't know, because this is a new universe.
Yeah.
Does, as much as what you personally don't want, does Tim exist? Does Jason exist? Does Jason even need to exist? I don't think so.
I don't think Jason does need to. I don't think Tim needs to. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to see a child get beaten to death by a crowbar, but
yeah.
But I don't think people should actually want that.
Is Oracle gonna exist? Is this a Batgirl? Did Killing Joke happen? Is she just in a wheelchair? Who knows? There's so many things in the air.
We could literally skip to Red Hood. We already skipping to Damian. So Red Hood, Damian, Oracle, and like, yes, these people have had some, well, one really good and two very, very bad days.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a thing that it's not a thing that I would even think would be a good idea to do. But there is even like a real argument for doing for having Batman been at it longer than a lot of these other heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And then and which is I think one of the smart things that Batman vs Superman did, where it's just like, yeah, let's not introduce Batman like he's here, you kind of know what he's gonna do, and characterize him quickly to make it work.
Yeah.
Also, I will say that I'm genuinely sad that we couldn't have Jeremy Irons as Alfred like more than that little bit, because
Yeah.
that was inspired. That was
Yeah.
wonderful casting.
It was. I agree.
But no, I mean, you could just skip over that. Have the like, I guess it would be kind of like that Justice League era, that Tim versus Justice League era Batman, who's been at it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then do the kind of like, where that kind of split is, where the Joker is gone, like he has been truly dealt with, and the only things that are left are things like the Joker gangs that you get to see in the Batman Beyond, and like
Yeah.
the remnants of what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there are
I don't think
also other villains and stuff. Again, like the more fantastical things like that
Yeah.
could be done better, like Mr. Freeze, like Killer Croc.
Mr. Freeze would be good.
Yeah,
I still want Arnold Schwarzenegger to play him. I don't want to change any of his dialogue.
he just needs to chill out. Yeah. Oh man,
No,
that movie is something.
a goodness.
Yeah.
I would like that. If they're doing Bat Family, I wonder if they're doing Court of Owls. That would make it like an amount of sense.
It would, but that also there's certain things that I think would be too confusing for moviegoers.
That's fair.
And like I think they want to be the next Marvel, but the difference is like they're actually integrating their TV with their movies supplementary at the beginning instead of Marvel, where it's like, here's a bunch of movies. Oh, COVID's happening. Let's do some shows. And so like now with that, like, yeah, we have these shows that have been in development for Marvel that come in and out, but like there isn't really any sort of rhyme or reason or checks and balances for like how well these are produced. Whereas it seems like at the beginning for these, like, I mean, I guess Peacemaker season 2 is going to be the first one where we're really like, all right, this is the universe now. How is this compared to a film? Whereas like, yeah, we had Creature Commandos already, which is an excellent show. I really like that show. But yeah, we'll just see how well these integrate with each other. So we could have, like you said, like, I still think it's a little more complicated than that, but like you could have Batman show with Court of Owls, or you could have a Batman, like, I don't know, like introduction type stuff, like earlier, like the earlier days or something like that. You know, you could have just like Adventures of Batman and Robin as a live action show, and then go into the Bat Family.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would work well too. I would like to, because you don't, again, I don't think you need to introduce Batman.
No.
Dude's had 1,000 movies. Like, he's been he gets a TV show. There's always a Batman TV show airing currently. Like, it's there's not a lot of introductions needed. So as long as you're just like, it's like, hey, this is Batman. He acts like Batman enough. Like, it's the things that made Ben Affleck be able to drop in there and be like, yes, I'm Batman. Look how Batman I am. And everybody's like, yeah, we're very Batman, Ben. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem with that, though, is that, like, I agree, Batman doesn't really need an introduction. It's kind of like with Superman nowadays. Superman doesn't need an introduction. Batman doesn't need an introduction. But if you're going more into the things around them, with the family, the Bat family, like if we are doing a Tim, if we are doing the beginnings of Damian, if you are doing a Nightwing with Dick, like a show could be the way to kind of pave the way for the movie.
That's fair, and I do think that would work pretty. Like, I wouldn't want to see Red Hood like in a movie unless we were explicitly doing Under the Red Hood. And even then, that's already had a okay movie. So like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think there's certain things I don't think we ever need to do in live action.
yeah,
That is one of them. Killing Joke is another one. And there's like one more. I can't think of it right now, but like those are the main two for sure. Where it's just we've seen too many adaptations of this, good and bad, that we really just don't need to see this. We don't need to put people through this because all we're thinking about, all most people are thinking about who know these things are just like, why this isn't like this one, this isn't like that one. So I don't know. We just don't need to compare it to that. Just do your own thing or be inspired by it. So
it's it. I think that I did realize another standalone storyline that again is not one that I would want to see necessarily directly adapted, but I do really like Alan Moore doesn't have a lot of Superman he's written, but he's written some of my favorite things. The Man Who Has Everything being the I feel like the Justice League cartoon did that one episode so well for the Man Who Has Everything.
Yeah.
It's like it's this, and it does feel like this is closer to the Superman who would do the whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow thing. The willingly giving up his role as Superman because because he kind of realizes that maybe I do help people, but it might hurt people in the long run more based on the reactions that others are having.
Yeah.
That's always been Lex. Like that's his arc.
Yeah.
And just doing that more with like B-list villain is where the real thing is, toy maker, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's pretty a good stopping point here because we have been going on for a little bit. I realized I never told you this at the beginning when we were talking about the actual movie. I didn't really like Lex, but
oh really?
Yeah. I thought he was fine. I thought he did a lot of things that you said, like he was the definition of envy. He was all of that, but he's not as calm and collected as a Clancy Brown.
You want big, strong Lex?
I want Clancy Brown. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I want the animated series.
Yeah.
I want Justice League. Lex. Yeah, I want something like that where like I don't know. I didn't like how Lex cried. It felt very like billionaire. Again, this isn't a political podcast. It felt very. Oh no, Elon Musk didn't get his way. I'm shedding a tear. Someone said bad things about me.
That's 100% what that was. Which again, like, it isn't it's a reasonable enough way how to do Lex.
It is.
I would prefer to see the Lex that my buddy played in Injustice, the big suit and the big muscles and the laser axe.
Yeah.
But we're not getting laser axe Lex. I respect it.
Yeah. Not yet. There's still time.
Not yet.
There's still time.
Yeah. Give me, if Nicholas Hoult gets in a giant robot suit, laser axe, and I will be about as happy as I'm capable.
Yeah, give me a green and purple suit, exoskeleton type suit. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
I would love that. But yeah. This has been an episode of the Gay Gaming Podcast. Again, I don't know if this is actually going to be an episode that comes out as an actual episode or if it's going to be an extra episode. We'll see. This episode is long enough and short enough to where it could be in place of a real episode, so we'll see. If you enjoy this, if you want to go find us on find me and Ben and myself, not necessarily find Steven here, but I don't know, Steven might be here sometimes. You can find us on here. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us bi-weekly. The actual podcast comes out bi-weekly on all podcast services everywhere. So if you find us somewhere random, we're probably there. We're on Amazon. We're on Apple. We're on Pandora. We're on everywhere. And you can also find us on YouTube. YouTube currently still has our Let's Play coming out of the No Mercy run of Undertale. I don't know how far the episodes have gone out. At the time of this recording, we have not beat Sans, but yeah, it's a fun time there. Thank you, Stephen, for being here with us today. Again, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and where they can go and find you if you want them to find you?
It's well, I'm Steven. I'm Coffee, Kophy, on all of your social medias. Though broadly, you're gonna find me on like you're gonna find me on Blue Sky. You're gonna find me on well, I think Blue Sky is gonna be the real one where you're gonna see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only real public face. It's the only real public social media.
Yeah.
Don't look for me on Reddit.
You know what to do. Go find him. Go find all the things that he's liked and talked about in the past 20 years. But cool. Yeah, I really do appreciate it. Again, you can find us pretty much anywhere. You can find us on you can find us on Twitter, technically, former Twitter. You can find us on Blue Sky. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram that we never post there. You can find us in a bunch of places. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this special episode here. And I prepped Steven. Steven, do you have anything else to say to the lovely people?
Get at it.
Get at it.